Okay, if you've already seen the caddy and midge video, you'll have seen what I call the double layer technique in wrapping your thread, which gives you one thickness of body. Now I always like the caddy and midge because it was a little slenderer than say the commercial patterns. If you look at Uncle's midges, they're very thick. Now it's not to say they don't work, they really do. But sometimes you want a little finer body. Caddy and midge is a little finer, but we can come to this technique, which will give you very skinny body. Okay, this is a 1/16 copper bead on a size 18 Tiemco 2487 BL. Getting a little tongue tied. We've got small copper wire. Now all I'm going to do is just pinch in a little piece of copper wire here, smallest amount I can get, and still get a grip on it. Alright, now back to the head in touching turns. I should actually be doing this faster, so you guys can't really see that my threads may not be touching because I can't see. Okay, now turn this around so I can get my fingers through here. This small copper wire, really one of my favourite colour schemes, whichever method you use to tie it. 70 denier thread, and truly a very skinny body. This is one I probably would use super glue on, and I'll do that in a second. Technique given to me by Dr. Gonzo. Now you can see that by tying it in the tail, if I'd wrapped that wire down underneath the body, we would have had, wouldn't be much, but it still would be thicker. This is going to give you a good fly for those days when the fish are on the very small stuff, very picky, without having to go down to a 24. We tend to use a lot larger sized midges here than are necessarily being hatching off. Okay. Super glue technique. There's really nothing to it. Just don't get it all over yourself. I tend to put out a small amount of super glue, Zap-A-Gap, whatever. I say a small amount, I just spilled it everywhere. Thankfully not on me. Into the cap, give me a little holder. I can use a piece of paper. Brush this on. This technique is giving me a buddy. I mean, most of these things, you can tell by most of this, my videos, I keep mentioning other people. Sorry, you won't have a great view here, but I'm just looking at this other side of this fly. Just apply a very small amount. Don't want to get it into the eye of the hook. There's a pain in the butt. It will flame off, but it's kind of tricky. Okay, there we go. I always blot out my see if that's focused enough. You can see what appears dark to you on the bottom of that fly is actually a little bit of excess super glue. I'm just going to maneuver it around that fly, because it will, at this stage, before it's set up, it's still movable, kind of like epoxy. This is a little bit fiddly. I don't tend to do it on a lot of my flies. It's so easy to tie. This one I thought you'd just like to see what you can do. So this comes from Doc Gonzo, gives you a very thin profile and a very glossy look with that super glue. Cheers.